Hi everyone, this is Ida with Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are under the age of 18, this video content is not for you. I wanted to share a card that I created. Sorry guys, I know I sounded far away, but y'all know me. If I don't forget to put my phone on talk, it's gonna ring. And I always forget to do it before the video. Anyway, I created a card for Mother's Day that I wanted to share with you guys. And some of these cards are going to be available for purchase here on Etsy. And I will post a link in the description box. If you want to make them yourself, I'm going to post links to the products, and you'll be able to see pretty much by looking at what I created, you'll be able to recreate it yourselves. So, but the availability for my cards will be for those that are not really crafters, or they have limited tools that they can't do this, but and I want to give them an option to be able to purchase them if they really want one. So my cards are going to be called sow a seed cards. And what that is it's going to be Christ inspired cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and share with you what I created. I created one for my mother, just kind of testing it out. And this is the one that I created for her. And I absolutely love anything that is tea themed. I'm going to move it up a little bit. I think you can see it pretty well, but I just want to move it up a little bit so you can see the teapot on there. So I created one that is because I love teapots and I love embossing folders. So this is the best of both worlds. And what it is a Crafter's Companion embossing folder that not only embosses all the filigree and the teapot and the cutout butterflies and all that good stuff, but it also cuts out it embosses the butterflies, but it cuts them out part of the way as well, so you can give it dimension, but they're still attached to your card. And it cuts out the aperture for if you wanted to create it into a shaker, which is what I did with mine. I don't know if that was their intention, but that's what I did with mine. So this is the one that I created. And I'm going to share with you everything that I used. So after I ran it through my embossing folder, it did cut out the center right here. The little banner is part of the cut. Anything in this Tiffany blue kind of color. And I'm not sure what the color is called. I'll check really quick for you guys. Because I picked it up at Tuesday morning a while back. And I hadn't had a chance to play with it. But it is by, who is it? By Recollections. It's called Summer Days. Right there's the paper for it, and there's the name right here, and it is by Recollections. And I really love this color. It reminds me kind of like a Tiffany blue. And after I had done that, I did some the gold foiling on the gold leafing on parts of the teapot, like the lid, the spout, the base on the teapot, and of course the handle up here. Oops, I missed a spot. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. And for the center of the butterflies, I added my friend Sabrina, who is the S Factor Studio here on YouTube. She had gifted me little containers. Here's one right here. Oh, here's a gold one. A couple of little containers that had a mixture of glass glitter, and it had some the micro beads and just different things like for a shaker. And she gifted me two, one in this purpley pink and then the gold and the silver. So I used the gold and the silver on this one, and all I did was add glossy accents to the middle of the butterflies and sprinkled some of that mix in here, and then just kind of tapped it off to get the excess off. And then it ended up being very pretty. I added a pearl right here to the top of the lid, and then the flowers right here is just stuff that I had on my desk. So the only thing that will vary on these will be the flowers, but they'll be in the same pink colors, but they might be a different flower. And then this one back here is a heartfelt creation flower, and I embossed that with a rose, and I embossed that with the shabby, what is it called? I have it right here. It is called shabby, is it shabby vintage pink? Hold on 1 second, guys. Don't recall what I did with it. Ah, here it is. It's this one by Stampendous, and I will put this in the description box. And I picked this up from Amazon. It's called Shabby Pink Embossing Enamel, and it's frontage, so it's very it's dimensional. It looks grungy at some points, but it's very, very pretty. It's rough. It's not a smooth embossing, but it's rough. So that's what I did there. And so I cut it out in the blue. And this embossing folder is a 5x7. So let me share that with you. I actually have some pieces cut out because, like I said, I'm going to make these available for purchase. Here is the embossing folder. It is by Crafter's Companion or a Gemini. And here is the, I'll show you the picture right there because you can see it better right here. See the picture right there? Hopefully it's focusing. This is a 5x7 embossing folder, and they do make it in a 4.5x5 as well. 5.5 because I have both of them. Let me share that other one with you. Although I was not able to find it on Amazon in the smaller one, because I picked it up a Tuesday morning. This one right here. And this is the exact same thing. But it's a smaller embossing folder. Like I said, it's a 4.5x5.5, but it is the exact same one. But I used the big, I used both of them, and I'm going to share both of them with you. So what I did was I cut it out in the blue, in this blue, and then I used the Dollar Tree foam core. I'll show you a piece of that. I just had a piece. See this? It's the foam board that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And what I like about this, it's got plenty of dimension for a shaker, but it's lined with paper on the front and on the back. So paper adheres really well to paper. So all I have to do is use glue, and it's going to stick to wherever I place it. And I cut out a piece that was a little smaller than a 5x7, a little bit smaller than the panel. I put it in my embossing folder, and I ran it through my die cutting machine, and it did cut through that foam. But what it does, it kind of makes it thin. So you see, this is kind of thin compared to this one. When you run it through, it is going to thin it out. But it's still enough that you can turn it into a shaker. As you can see, mine is a shaker, so you can still make it into a shaker, but it's going to be thinner. If you want it to be thicker, I'm going to show you how to do that. That's why this circle is here. So sometimes we like to put a little extra into our shaker cards. And then right here, I used a little die. Let me see if I can find it. I used a little die that I bought on AliExpress probably a couple years ago, guys. And it's these little birds. And I did have to cut it and kind of piece it together because the banner is so small. And the birds were, see, if I were to put it like this, the birds were too far apart. And I wanted them to be like on the banner. I suppose you could use this piece and not have a bird on every banner, on every pennant. But this is the one that I used to do the little birds up here because I needed something really, really tiny. And let me share with you the Heartfelt Creations stamp and die set that I used. And I did, like I said, I stamped it. It's this one right here, the classic rose vine. There's the number right there on it. And I used both the die to it and the stamp. And what I did was I used my embossing glue pad. And I didn't use any ink. I used the embossing glue and embossed it with the shabby pink. And I did go in and color with my new markers that I shared with you on the previous video. That's what I colored these in with. And I love the way they look. And what happens when you do that, that wherever you embossed the ink, it kind of, you can't color over it because there's a resist there. So because of the coating, you can't color it. So I was able to just get a little bit of green here and there, some pink here and there, and but it's got this glitter and everything that's already going on in the embossing powder. It is absolutely beautiful. So that's what I did there. Then I layered a piece of pink, and then I wanted to bring in, let me see, let me tap this. There is a butterfly in here. I don't know if you can see it. There is a butterfly in here, and the tips of the butterfly are black or charcoal gray. So I wanted to bring out a little bit of the black that was in here, but I still wanted to keep it light. So I added a very like a size bigger than the pink, but it was very small, maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe even less, because I only wanted it to be like a narrow strip around it that you could see. And then my base is a white 110-pound cardstock. I didn't do anything to the back yet because I don't think I'm going to stamp put my stamp on here. I ordered some boxes for them because if I'm going to sell them, I want I want it to be a nice presentation. So I think the seal that I do, my seals, I'll put them on the box that I'm going to put these in, because this is something that you cannot ship in a regular envelope because they do have a little bit of dimension, not a bunch, but it does have a little bit. On the inside, what I did here, and the reason I call it sow a seed cards, because it's scripture that's going to be in the cards. This card can be used not only for Mother's Day, but for any woman for any occasion. So it says, especially only if they have children. If they don't have children, then this probably wouldn't apply to them. But you could probably take off the children part and just leave the bottom if she were married. But I'm going to read it to you. It says, her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. And that's Proverbs 31:28 through 29. Right here in the corner. Again, I did it with the Tiffany blue. And then I printed it with my my laser printer, and I'm going to link the printer that I use in the description box. I did purchase it off Amazon because the reviews were good, and to replace the toner was kind of economical. So that's what I was looking for in my printer. So anytime you print with a toner printer, all you have to do is put a piece of the foil on top and run it through your ink machine or a laminating machine. But either or works. But I have a Mink. And I'll put the link to the Mink machine, and I'll also put a link to a laminating machine that's pretty economical as well. Like that would be probably more economical. And then I cut out the corner right here with a Crafter's Companion die that I picked up a Tuesday morning, and I wasn't able to find it on Amazon, guys. So I don't know, but I'm gonna share that one with you. It is this one right here, and I did pay $7.49 a Tuesday morning, but they're pretty big, and these are corner dies, and I'll share with you what it looks like cut out. There it is cut out. It doesn't cut all the way through, it just kind of cuts the intricate piece and the outline on the outside corner. So that is what I used to do that, because the paper has a lot of butterflies and birds and stuff like that, and flowers. So that's what I use. Now, before I layered my Tiffany blue piece on top, what I did was I added stickles. So you can see right there that it's cut out, but because I cut it with foam, the pieces didn't fall off. So when I glued it to the panel, they stayed put. But I added stickles to the little areas of the butterfly because these have dimension when you open them up. I wanted it to be to have some kind of glimmer or glitz in there. So I used the stickles, not that one. I used the one Jackie sent me, the diamond ones. Those are the ones, but you could use either or. They both have sparkle, but look at how pretty. The sequin mix that I have in here is one that I picked up at Tuesday morning, so I can't link that one, but I did pick it up at Tuesday morning. It has like a lavender and pink in it and a type of green, very similar to the card and what's in the paper. So that's what I use for my shaker card. And then again, like I said, I pieced my little pieces right here for to go on top of the banner. Now, if I wanted this to be a Mother's Day card, I would put maybe the word mom right here at the bottom. My friend Jackie sent me these die cuts. There's the word mom, or if I wanted to do mother, I maybe would put it up here because it's bigger. So there would be the word mother. But if I wanted to personalize this with my mother's name, then of course when I printed out the sentiment, I would put her name maybe up here, and when I put the foil over it and run it through, it would have foiling on it. So you could do either or. I love the fact, the reason I got the toner printer was for this particular reason. I wanted to be able to print whatever I wanted to print and then be able to foil it. But what I do notice is that you see a little bit of gold throughout the paper and very thin lines. And from what I hear, you can use an eraser to take those off. I tried it. It didn't work for me, but it doesn't bother me. I think it looks pretty. It kind of looks marbleized with a little bit of gold here and there. So I like the way it looks. But this is what I created. I hope that you guys like it. And like I said, they are going to be available. Now I'm going to share the smaller one with you. I didn't put it together really as a card, but I did. If you want to do a flat card, then you wouldn't add the foam to the middle. You would just adhere it to your paper. And what I did was behind the aperture, the opening right here, I added the designer paper. This is the Prima Havana paper. And this is the 6x6 pad because the prints are smaller. So that's what I used here. I will put the link to that as well. But if you go to my previous video on the little typewriter embellishments that I created, when you go to that video, the little typewriters, the link is already going to be there for that. In case I forget, the link is already there. I added a little bit of bling to the little butterflies. Some of them I didn't add anything. And then I added this pink lavenderish glitter paper. And this is a Crafter's Companion paper as well. If I can find the link to that, I will post it. I will put the link in the description box. But like I said, if you wanted to do a flat card, this would fit in an envelope. Even though it has a pearl up here, it's still pretty flat. Now I didn't adhere it to a base, but if I were to adhere it to a base, see how thin the profile is? So it would fit in a regular standard envelope. But me personally, I like dimension on my in my projects, so I don't have a problem with creating something like this and paying a little extra to ship it because I love beautiful cards. And then when you put the word of God in it, it's a constant reminder you're planting that seed. When I say sow a seed, it means you're planting a seed. When you speak to someone or give someone scripture, you're planting the seed, a seed. And of course, God is the one that makes it grow. But we're the ones that God uses to plant that seed. So that's why I'm calling these cards sow a seed cards, and I'm going to make them for different occasions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like what I created, and I will give you a couple more ideas. Like for example, if I wanted to add some metal, if Monica was making Monica Scrapping for Your Boys was making this card, she would add metal to it. So there are like some metal corners and stuff and flowers that you can add. But of course I would paint these in gold with a gold leafing pen or something. But see how it looks placed in the corners? It's very pretty. Like I could do one at the top and one at the bottom and just take my card to that next level. I hope that you like what I created, and I hope that that this inspires you to also plant a seed. Thanks for watching. Bye.